Hello, guys. I'm laughing, and probably you'll see because I had to go rewatch this episode that you're about to see and watch. By the way, this only works if you're watching the video on YouTube or Spotify if they do have the video. I think they do, and that's because as I was recording this episode, my right foot slid and I landed on my right knee. Not completely fell, but kind of did on my right side. And what I said at that moment it was, oh, I gotta go back and listen to what I was saying because probably it's a sign. And I don't know if you know this about me. If you follow me on social media, probably you know often just aware, not looking really, not searching for things, but I'm aware of signs that maybe I need to have in that moment. Or basically, I pay attention. So what I said right in that moment when I was talking and went down on my knee was asking yourself honest question, like what is stopping me from having what I want in life? And then asking that honest question, is it me? Right? Is it? And then exactly in that moment, it was more about, am I taking care of my own needs? Am I following my footsteps? Which is so interesting because right when I was saying that is when my foot slid, and then I kind of went down on my knee and I hurt my knee, and I felt like it was a sign from the universe saying, like, here, Wendy, this is a question you need to ask yourself, which I often tell you that, don't I not? Do I not? I often tell you, right? Like a lot of the times when I'm delivering a message to you, when I'm sharing something to you, is not a lot of times, pretty much all of the time is from experience, either that I've lived or that I've witnessed through clients or other people that I coach. And if there are questions to be asked, those questions also go to me, or I ask myself those questions. I don't tell you things out of a book. I don't tell you things out of my ass. I don't tell you things that I'm copying from somebody else. I tell you things that I have learned from other people, or I have learned through my experience, and I've asked those same questions to myself. So maybe that's what I needed to hear and feel as I fell on my knee. Am I really following the words that I say, the footsteps that I'm saying I'm planting on the ground to create my life, right? So again, it's a reminder for you as you listen to today's episode in the podcast. If there is something that you really desire right now, that really it's been in your mind for a while, it's been in your heart for so long, maybe not even, it's been like something that you really desire, but maybe a thought has come to your mind a few times, like, what would it be like to quit this job and find a better job? Or what would it be like to maybe get out of this relationship and or even maybe talk to my partner, my spouse, and try to get things better? Or what would it be like to drive a better car than what I have right now? Whatever that might be, just pay attention, because I feel everything is a sign. So pay attention to the dialogue that happens up here, because those could be little nudges of your subconscious trying to tell you, getting your attention, pay attention to this, think about this. What about this? What about moving to another state? What about moving to another, maybe not that big, but maybe moving to another neighborhood, another place, bigger, better place, stop being complacent and conforming to what you get right now, but start thinking bigger. So that's the little message that I wanted to share. Again, you'll get to hear it and see it, watch it as you're watching this episode. And as always, when you do listen to the podcast or watch the episodes, please come in with a very open mind, and bring your awareness. So don't distract yourself. I know oftentimes episodes I get to listen to them while I'm driving, so at least most of my attention is on what I'm listening. Or I'm listening as I'm doing things, like as we all do, women, multitasking, right? If that's your jam, great, but still try to pay attention to the message, because I know easily we can miss these nudges. So I'm telling you, if the universe is bringing you signs, nudges about what needs to change in your life, and we miss those signs and continue being stuck in that loop of conforming to what's happening now, right? And then maybe I am your sign, so you get to miss the signs that I'm giving you, sending to you. Then I don't know what to do with you. Because it's like life, God, the universe is trying to give you the answers. It's just that you're not receiving them, you're not getting them, because you're just not paying attention. So that's what I wanted to share. So listen up, watch even to this episode, and let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys quite soon. Hello, and good morning, my beautiful people. Another day in paradise. Another day in my morning hikes, as I have shared before. Hopefully it's not too windy. Welcome to today's episode. You guys, if you are not doing this already, please get out to nature. Get out. Take a walk outside. Enjoy the nice sunny day. It's just beautiful. It's a little hot, but still I cannot wait for all of this to get green again once the season changes. But here we are. Windy. But what I wanted to talk about right now in today's episode is based on a conversation that I was listening to in another podcast. It was an interview from one of my coaches, interviewing another person who had literally changed his life and his family's life by moving across the world to Europe and living there. Anyway, it's a long story, but basically the whole idea is, how do you design your dream life, right? What is it like? If you ask anybody, including yourself, I guess I'm asking you, what is the thing? Oh gosh, it's getting windy. I don't know how to stop it. If you ask anyone, including yourself, what is something that you really, really want right now? What is, if you had one wish, there's, one wish that you get to have and it will be given to you, what would that be? And I think the majority of us will be to change something that we are not happy with. I think in one version or another, that would be the case, like to change something that I'm not happy with right now. Whether that is leaving my job, maybe that is getting into a relationship or having kids, or leaving a relationship that some people could be in for years and years and they haven't figured out, or it's more likely they haven't gotten the courage to leave that relationship that is not working anymore, but they feel they got to be there. Maybe it is finding a job, now with the situation. Maybe it is having more financial freedom. Maybe it is having freedom in general, right? And so there's always different answers, different variations of changing something that is probably not working in our life, right? Probably something that we want to completely change. But yet, why don't we do it? If it is something that we desire, that we've been wishing forever, why is it that we haven't done it yet? My arm is hurting. And I think it's like 90 something percent, more like 98%, that most of us are still in that place of just wishing and not taking the action, not doing it. And then the question would be, maybe it wasn't that important for you. Like, what needs to happen for you to completely, like, change your mindset and start taking action? Like, do you really need to have a wake-up call? Do you really need to maybe, like, drastically and literally, universe has to make you, like, go through the change in a way of, maybe getting a tragedy or getting a diagnosis, or, it's a bug, or losing something. By the way, this might be in a video form on YouTube, but also in the podcast. So some noises that you're hearing, things that you're saying, is because things are happening out here in nature, and I just have like a little bug in my mouth. But if you're wondering what is she mumbling about, but I will suggest that you also go watch this on YouTube at Wendy for Wellness. Because I think it's more fun also to do this in video, and so you really actually get to engage, for me to engage and send out this message, and for you to witness and also feel the energy that is happening and all the little critters that are around me. Because sometimes you will see little things happening. So what is it that hasn't really happened, or hasn't allowed you to create a change, right? And so many people sometimes are still sitting in indecision because they're wondering, they're overthinking if this is the right thing to do or not. They're already processing what would be the right path based on the set of beliefs that we already have in our mind, or what we have witnessed from other people. And whether or not something has worked, right? But yet we are not really creating based on what we want, what is something that we desire, what is something that maybe it is according to our abilities, our potential, our resources. So if you really stop to think about this and ask yourself, like the question, like, why? Okay, if the first question, what is something that I really desire to have in my life? And maybe make a list if there's more than one, because at the end, that way of, you're brain dumping what's up here in your head, right? And then the next question would be, looking at the answer, looking at your list, why is it that I haven't got it yet? What is getting in the way? What is stopping me from getting there? Is it financial issues that I'm having? Is it maybe like I don't have the resources? I don't know how to start. Which, by the way, how do you start something? I feel that we ask that question so many times. How do I start? How do I start? What about, instead of just asking the question, what about just starting with what we have? Just trying things out even. If you feel like you've been sitting in your shit for so long, just like start and just try it out. Like, this is like little 180 degree, oh my goodness, what are all these lights? 180 or 360 degree of change to just push you to start something, anything, and go soft if you want, go hard if you want, but just do something, okay? But the thing is that, I know I was saying something else before this. So your next question would be, okay, what is getting in the way, right? Like, what is stopping me? And with that, let's just be real and honest, okay? Obviously, you can share your answers with me if you want, and I can coach you with it or about it. But also, let's be aware that with that, most of the time, or most likely, it is us who is stopping ourselves. So let's be really, really honest. And when we say, or when we ask, what is stopping me, right? Like, what is stopping me from achieving these? What is getting in the way? And then look inward, okay? Look inward and then see, okay, am I really taking the steps that I need to take to make a change? Am I getting out of my comfort zone? Am I, giving myself the time and the freedom to take care of my to take care. Oh my gosh, this is like the second time I think the second time I fall in my hike, or as I'm doing a video. But anyway, I'm okay. It's just like, and then also I keep hitting the same knee every single time. Okay. So maybe that's a sign. I don't know. I have to look back at that video and see what I was saying back then. Maybe that's my sign. But basically, like when you ask those questions, like if you like look at yourself and see, am I really following my steps? Like what I say that I will do, am I really following what I say, basically? Not following myself. Am I really being honest? Every time when I try to change something in my life, when I fully go in 100%, or maybe I get just scared because I just don't have the courage. Okay, if that's the case, what am I doing about it? Or what am I, why am I still stuck? Is it because I'm in so much fear and I don't know? Why don't I ask help? Why don't I hire a coach? Why don't I hire a therapist if you need? Why don't I, change one lifestyle, in one habit in my life? Why don't I start, standing for myself and speaking up of the things that I need, why don't I respect my boundaries? Or maybe if I don't have boundaries, why don't I set boundaries around the things that I need so other people can know what exactly it is that I need, and when or where they get to have me as a person, have my energy, my attention, my time. Because this is very common with people that when we give so much of ourselves and we people please, that we put our needs second or last. And so I feel, if you really want to change something in your life, you have this desire that something's got to change, that you've been ruminating, you've been brewing in this concoction of whatever your life is like right now, and it's been going for years and years, maybe a decade, maybe more than that, or maybe your life is okay, but there's something in you that is like, I feel like there's something else, there's something more, like I have everything I want right now, but what about desiring more? There's nothing wrong with wanting more. So even if you have a perfect life right now, right? Like, is there something that you still desire? Like maybe, something more, something different, right? So don't, as you do this practice or exercise, don't try to overthink about it. Just ask the question and just pay attention to the first thought that comes into your mind. What is that thought? What is that? Because most likely that's your subconscious letting you know that it's been trying to speak up about it, and it's letting you know exactly what needed to come out. And so that's my message for today, because I'm including myself, because I'm also in that area of oh gosh, I really want something to happen. Sorry, my thing is, I really, in my mind, I have an idea, I have a list of things that I want my life to be like, right? I have a lot of things that I desire, but yet I haven't yet some of them. I feel like I've been very comfortable in where I am right now. So I'm trying to push myself a little bit more, right? And so I these questions that I'm asking you guys, I'm often asking myself. And I sit with the answers and I try to craft and have that vision of what the answers are like in a physical reality. So, good morning. And so that would be my suggestion if you want to have a clarity around this, and as well as I know sometimes we could be because we have so much in our head that we could be so cluttered that we don't even know how to desire. Like we don't even know exactly what it is that we want, because when we've been living in a situation for too long, our mind has just made that resolution. Okay, this is what it is. This is what is going to be going forward. and maybe everything is okay, like I said a little while ago. Maybe everything's fine. Maybe nothing needs to change. And you're happy with it. But part of me, honestly, is telling me that I don't think anyone is completely, fully happy in the place where they are, and that things are still constant being that way. I feel that as human beings, I feel as soul beings, because I feel we are composed of many parts, right? The body, the spirit, the emotions. But I feel the soul being of who we are always will desire change, because if you think about it and look at what humanity or history has been, change has always been around when people or society or nations, whatever you want to call it, had to up level, had to grow bigger, had to change for, hopefully in most cases, the better. Because also change creates, because things get wobbly, things are like cracking up, It's like in tarot reading, or in general, like a tower moment that is very commonly used as a metaphor, I guess. A tower moment is like when you get hit by something and really shakes your ground and makes it unstable. So you got to figure out how to walk on that unstable, crackling ground. So I feel overall our soul will always crave or want some sort of change. The problem is that as a society we have gotten so used to fearing, I don't know if that's how you say it, but like we have gotten so used to have that fear in change. We have gotten so used to being so comfortable in things being stagnant and not having to go through any kind of discomfort, right? And that's why whenever there's something unusual, unfamiliar, something that is different, we're like, whoa, like what's going on? Like this is freaking me out because I'm not used to this. Again, let's break that false narrative that we have in our head of having to fear any kind of situation that will require us to get uncomfortable or change. So that's one thing that I also wanted to mention. Good morning. Because I feel we got to have the reminder. So if you're still listening and you're happy with the things, how things are in your life, and everything is amazing, good for you, but still ask yourself those questions. Is there something else, something more that you want? If you're super happy right now, you have financial freedom, you have a perfect health, you have all the relationships in your life are amazing, and nothing seems to be, in your worry, like in your mind as a worry, okay, then what else can you get? What more can you get? I feel also we get so stuck and comfortable in the happy, maybe when we are in the happy moments. I keep like having my phone like this, that we forget that we can dream for more. We forget that we can dream for more and better. And there's nothing wrong with that. So let's maybe up level a little bit more. So yes, I'm talking to you if you are, number one, in that place in which you're tired of how things have been for a while and you want to change. So those questions were for you. If you want to go deeper and talk about this, let's connect and I can coach you through this. If you are happy with how things are and nothing needs to change, then amazing for you, but still ask yourself, what else can I desire? There's nothing wrong about wanting more, so what else can I have? I want more. yes, I am here to receive it. So basically empower yourself by declaring more, because you do deserve more. All right, my friend. So have a beautiful and amazing day, whatever it is that you're doing. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Let me know how you like this episode, that it resonated with you. Please share it as well, because I know a lot of people sometimes if you are feeling confused, if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like, what the hell do I do with my life? Also remember, there's more people like you. I was there. Every now and then, I'm also asking myself that same question. And we need to have these reminders. We got to remind ourselves and bring ourselves back into alignment and to the path that was meant to be for us, right? So please share this with a friend, somebody in your social media. If you do, please tag me so that I know, at Wendy 4 Wellness, so that I know I get to be a little bit, in the radar of what you're doing and help you in whatever it is that you need assistance or support for in that moment. And then also, bonus points. If you can also give me a 5-star review in iTunes, iPodcast, Spotify, in any of the platforms. I think the main ones are Spotify and iTunes. A review of the episode, so that it will help the episode a lot, or the podcast a lot, because it will start growing awareness, so that more people get to see this, more people get to watch it, and get to, again, have these kind of reminders. Because if you really think about it, right now we're living in a time that awareness has become more present in people's minds, which is amazing. But also, we're living in a time that there's more resources. If you think about this, 5, maybe 10, 20 years ago, there wasn't anything like this. And can you imagine how people were back then, having to deal with stress, uncertainty, worries of life, right? And yeah, in a way, people probably were doing a little bit better than we are now, because we just have inundated our minds with so much information, so much clutter, emotional distress, right? But at the same time, bringing awareness to podcast episodes like this also is going to help people who are maybe just starting in their journey of healing. So it will help the podcast to reach out to more people, as well as helping those people finding podcasts like this and getting a little bit of support, that little bit of answer that maybe they've been searching for. And all thanks to you. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Thank you so much, and have a good and wonderful day.